Hi everybody. Um, Today I'm going to revamp my Shilo wig, the Shilo by Noriko. Um, I have her on the head right here, the wig head, the lovely wig head. She's definitely been broken a few times and duct taped back together, but it still works. Anyhow, this is the lovely Shilo. I've done a review on her already, several videos back, but over time and wear, she's gotten a little bit of ratty-tatty. And worse than that, I am currently at my camper on the campground. I have a seasonal camper on the lake. And I was wearing her and raking leaves and burning leaves. And I had her in braids, kind of like exactly like this. This is my own hair, plus some little extensions to make my braids a little thicker. Otherwise, my braids would only be this big around. Yeah, so I do have like a couple extensions in to thicken my hair up a little bit. But that's how I was wearing Shilo. I had her in braids. So basically I had her pulled around to the side and braided with just the bangs out. So when I lean over the fire, poof, the ends caught on fire. So it's probably very hard for you to be able to see it, but let me see if I can get it up close enough so you can see the frayed ends. Like I said, it's probably too hard to see it in the camera, but she's definitely burnt up pretty good. Yeah, I could not believe it. So anyways, she's going to get a makeover because the rest of her is perfectly fine. Just absolutely perfectly fine. She has the monofilament top, the darker root. This is Sandalwood H. I'm not going to go into the specs of this because like I said, I've done a review already on her. So basically, this is just going to be me fixing her and cutting her and kind of doing it on camera and having you tag along while I do it. So the things that I have for her to get her back into wearing shape is, so I've got a wide tooth comb, vent brush, my handy dandy favorite rat tail comb, a couple clips to clip the hair out of the way that I am not working on, and some thinning shears, and just some regular hair cutting scissors. So I'll walk you through what I'm going to do to her. I'm going to take at least a good 2 inches off because I feel like that's pretty much that got burnt, and on top of that, from wear and tear and having her on my head for months, you know, the ends just start to get a little ratty anyways, and I just wasn't planning on having to cut a couple inches off of her yet, but now I have to because of the fact of her being burnt. So what I'm going to do is I have a bottle of water with a little bit of fabric softener in it. And I'm going to section off. I forgot my T-pin, so this is going to be kind of tricky. So I'm going to section off a hunk. And clip it up. And I'm just going to, work section by section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz this down so that it's damp. Then I'm going to go through it and point cut the bottoms about 1 inch. Then what I'll do is I'll let the hair down, go up a little bit farther, pull the hair, point cut the bottom about 1 inch or so, and just go through that whole entire process and then let all the hair down and see what we come up with. So I'll go ahead and get started. And when you're brushing her, start from the bottom and work your way up. Let me move you in a little closer. A little closer. There. So if it looks kind of a mess in the background, like I said, I am actually in my camper. This is a camper. Alright, so we'll start at the bottom, brush my way up. Alright, and now the reason I did get my thinning shears is because I may want to maybe thin her out a little bit. But right now I'm going to do this first section down here. Oh yeah, you can't see it like me, but the ends are burnt. So I'm going to take my cutting scissors, see if I can move in. I'm gonna make sure I get this nice and even. Yep. So now I'm just gonna point cut up into the hair. It's gonna look very uneven, but I'm going up approximately into the hair, about an inch up into it. Yes, the ends will be all jaggedy now, but as you do this through the layers, it makes it so that it isn't like a blunt cut straight across. So I got this part. Okay, hopefully I got all the burnt part off. Okay, then I may go in here and just do a little bit of thinning. So let me get up into here. Grab me a piece. The thinning scissors now. Get right up in here and oh, it's wet, so it's not cutting very well. The thinning shears, that is. So then I'm just going to take out the hair. Quite a bit, actually. Let's set that aside. And now I'm going to go back to my big wide tooth comb so that I can just kind of comb through that a little bit. Alright, I'm going to thin out one more piece on this side over here so that it's the same on each side. Okay, little piece over here. Thinning shears. Right up to the cap. That way if there was a mistake, the rest of the hair covers it up. And just slowly comb out the extra hair. Just the extra hair. Use my wide tooth comb. Just slowly go through her. Okay, so that whole layer is done. Then what I'm going to do is let the hair down. And I'm going to section it off again, but a little bit higher than what I just did. And get another layer of hair down. So here's where you can see some good burnt hair. Okay, so here's the hair that I did not cut, and the hair that I did cut up underneath of it. So you can kind of see it's almost approximately an inch. This is pretty burnt right here. You can see it's burnt up. Yes. So anyways, I'm not going to bore you with going through layer by layer by layer. So I'm going to quickly go through the rest of this until I get closer to the top. And then when I go to kind of thin out the bangs a little bit and do little extra spiffing her up, then I will come back and show you that. Okay? All right. Be right back. Okay, now that I've done all that, I'm going to actually go back in and do a little bit of layering because she looks a little bit blunter cut now, even though I did kind of point cut it. So when I layer my wigs, what I do is I turn it to the side like this. There's several different ways you can layer, add long layers to a wig, and I'm sure there's probably a ton of videos on YouTube already. But I usually just take the hair and comb it out like this in between my two fingers and pull it straight out. And then I cut it across, straight across. So when you lay it down, it's in a layer. And then I just kind of go through the whole thing and do it like that. So now I'll go on to this little area, turn her a little bit more and get this area. Just pull it straight out. So it's the same concept, really, is, you know, going on an angle like this and going downward. Some people have an easier time doing it like that, and some people have an easier time doing the twist the hair and cut into it. But I like to pull it straight out like this. Then you can actually see how you're going to reverse cut it because it's straight across this way. I don't know if I'm confusing you or not, but see, when you're cutting it straight across out like this, when you drop it, now it's in a layer form. So now it has longer layers. So I'll just keep doing that all the way till I get to the other side. So just pull it out. And if you get some of the hair that you already cut, that's okay, because then you can see your cut lines and where you're following it. Anyways, this works for me. I am no hair professional, but this is how I always layer. Do long layers in wigs, and I used to do my own hair like this too, to get the long layers in it. So this whole side is done. I'm going to turn her to the other side and do this side. So once again, I'm going to take the hair and comb it straight out, a section, just a section, and put it in my two fingers, pull it straight out, and that's where I'm going to cut it straight across right here. And when I let it down, bam, it's layered. Same thing, just going to keep right on going. Pull it between two fingers And that's what I'm going to cut straight across. Let it down. Bam, it's layered. Pull it straight out in between, excuse me, 2 fingers. Cut that straight across. Bam, it's layered. One more in the middle here. Actually, this looks pretty good. There. All her frayed ends are gone. Then, just in case you missed any little scraggly little hairs, I just kind of go through it with the comb. Pull it all back here. Give it a quick little combing. And see if I missed any scragglies. Nope, pretty good. These I think are just loose hairs. There you go. She looks a heck of a lot better. I think I chickened out. I really only went about 1.5 inches, maybe 1 inch, because I do love her length. I do love her style. I just didn't want to cut her straight across and then not have any layering in it. So I think she's done. Yeah. She looks way better. Her ends way better. Okay. I'll throw her on and see what she looks like trimmed up. Okay. Excuse me, sorry, I was eating something. Okay, so I have her on. The one thing I really like about this wig is that I am able to pull a little bit of my own hair out around the front, and it blends flawlessly with this wig. So I have like my sides out along the sides, just a little bit up in the top. It doesn't want us to go that way. Anyways, we get the picture. So I have like my sides out. It blends flawlessly. So here's her length now. Like I said, I cut approximately maybe 1.5 inches off the ends. So she's definitely a lot healthier looking. Oh, I missed a hair. Looks like I missed a couple hairs. Anyhow, so much more healthier looking. I mean, you know, I don't know how healthy you can get fake hair to look, but it definitely doesn't look burnt anymore, and it definitely does not look ratty-tatty anymore. I may go back in and do just a little bit of thinning to this side of the bang, because it's like the bang is really heavy on one side and not the other side. But I can show you the overall length of her now versus if you watch my video from my original one. Oh, am I in your way? You drinking some water? That's Luna, she's getting some water. Anywho, I have another brilliant idea for this wig. So, I'm not into short hair. I can't wear short hair. I don't like bobs, pixies, I just don't like short hair at all. So I'm thinking that when Shiloh gets ratty-tatty again, if I trim her up a little bit more and go another inch, that will be it for the cutting on her. I won't go any shorter than that. But I did have this idea that this could be for a future video. This monofilament top is like the bomb. And you can part it anywhere you want. I mean, I've already done a review on it, but this is what my idea is for when this wig is not going in the trash. It's going to be utilized. Because I think what I'm going to do is, at some point when this wig is no good anymore, I am going to take the scissors and cut the monofilament part out. Like, I'm going to cut this whole area. I'm going to cut it right off the wig. Yeah, you heard me. I'm going to cut it off. Then I'm going to put the clips in there. And I'm going to make my own topper with the Shiloh monofilament top. Can't see what I'm doing here because, like I said, I'm in my camper. I have no mirror, so I'm sure I probably look pretty horrid now. But anyways, that's my goal. Is this going to be a really good topper? Because that monofilament up there is worth saving. You know, once the wig goes bad and I cut it and then it's too short for me to cut it again, I'm going to save this top. So at some point you will see me again with this beloved Shiloh. But for now, that's it. She got a makeover. Alright guys, thanks for bearing with me and watching my video. Hope you guys all have a great evening.